Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm gonna show this creation of this little hamburger guy. I found him on Pinterest and I had wanted to model something that night, and I wanted something fairly easy. I didn't want anything too complicated. I want something I can knock out within a couple of hours and that I didn't feel like it would overwhelm me. So I start out with the bun, and this is pretty much using simple cylinders and mostly cylinders in a box. So you can see where I'm kind of playing around with this. This video is sped up because it would drag on a little bit if I didn't speed it up. I do have a crash near the end of one of the clips, and I kind of start over, but you know, second time you do something that you're a little bit quicker for it. So using the dynamic subdivision, that always helps. That's what I'm doing on a cylinder, and just multiplying or duplicating the mesh. I like the picture that I found on Pinterest. I think they called it, I don't remember what it's called, cheesy burger. So I just kind of stuck with the same cylinder and just rinsed and repeated duplicate, made a duplicate of it, and just adjusted it as I needed, and going from there. The goal, I didn't really have a goal, I just wanted a model. And I was thinking, I'm going to put the final into marmoset, so I didn't really want to worry about being too clean or anything as far as modeling. I just wanted it real basic, just real raw modeling, and no overthinking it, no thinking about UVs or anything like that. I just wanted to get it done and modeled. So I'm going here, trying to find something to use. Put a cylinder in there. The character's kind of cool. I like the colors and everything. Silly. A lot of these characters you'll see, if you look on Pinterest, they have like the little X'd out eyes. Like you'll see an ice cream version of this similar character, or there's other ones I've seen too, mainly the ice cream. So I'm going to use the insert mesh right here. I pretty much use topology tools to kind of just drag it over the face. I wanted something real quick, just in and out operation. In my mind, I was just trying to get to a finish line and just get that creativity going. So since I had it on dynamic, it actually, the scale was a little different, so I needed to turn that off. You can see I just boom, 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 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna make a little thickness and soften it up. It still kind of had a ridge on the little square in the middle, and I probably could have softened it even more, but in the end, it didn't really bother me. I guess just kind of left it. Right here, when you do, for anybody new to, I guess, how would you say it, subdivision modeling, you'll insert edge loops. I could put a crease, but sometimes that crease makes it a little too hard, and you want to push it over and be a little just kind of. There's more other 3D program methods of low poly modeling, and then putting a smoothing on it. I'll go back over and kind of smooth it over when I apply that subdivision to it. So the little character, that's just an XREF image that I'm using PureRef. I don't know if you've ever, for people watching this, if you use PureRef, but it's a pretty good little reference thing. I probably could use the light box or the light spotlight thing, but sometimes I just want to be able to drag that image across the screen to the side screen when I'm done with it and still have it up. That's the main benefit for me for using PureRef. So going in here, playing with some of the sliders, trying to get the look, smoothing it out a little bit, just trying to break that little edge. And there's a very stylized feel to that image, that reference that I found. So I was okay with that. That's what I kind of wanted to go for, just a little stylized. ZBrush is always fun if you kind of do these little simple characters. The only thing that I kind of wish that ZBrush had, so I didn't have to go to another program, was a little bit better rendering. You can render in there, but I feel like it takes a lot longer to get something than throw it into Toolbag. Even though, yeah, I gotta kind of unwrap some of the model and do a little bit of a process, but sometimes I just feel like the results are a little bit more satisfying. Although I do export out of here into Photoshop sometimes too. You get some lighting with that little plugin. That helps. So the extract, you know, just use the little teeth, simple, shape it out, paint it in, extract, clean it up, Z-remesh it, drop it to half, and then extrude it out, do a thickness, and you got teeth. It was angled or something, so I think it kind of had a little lip to it. So I'll go in here and flatten it down one way. Boom. And you got teeth. Just real loose, real fun, nothing serious. I needed something to kind of get my mind going, and I was wasn't feeling too good past few weeks, so I was getting back into feeling better, and getting the mind going again. When you're not feeling well, it's kind of hard to sit down on a computer and do stuff, but once you get back into that mode, it's not too bad. Just kind of starting the fire back again and finding the reason to kind of keep going forward. I think sometimes I'll do a model and it would be too complicated. Not complicated, but it'll be something that'll take a little bit longer than a day. And I could lose my fire or motivation if I'm too busy during the week with work and other things that come up. And so sometimes these little models like this, little challenges, they kind of help keep that fire going so you don't burn out and not do anything at all. Because it always feels good to finish something. If I don't finish something, it feels like it's just on my hard drive, like some of the other models that I need to go back to. And some of them I finish more than others, and some of them I'm just kind of like, I'll get back to that later. When it probably could take a good sitting down to finish. I need to do that. I need to sit down with some of my models since it's a new year, even though I try not to do the whole New Year's resolution. I try to keep the whole thing going year round, but sometimes that new year kind of makes you realize that, you know, time is going a lot faster than you expect. And once you hit that reset button, you're like, oh wow, this calendar starts over, and what happened to that last year? So I think that's a big kind of reason why you get a little wake-up call that time isn't slowing down for you or anybody. It's just going at its own pace, so gotta outrun that clock. So let's see what we got here. I'm duplicating out a part. So I want to say at the end of this clip, I do lose my work, but not much. I do save, but I lose something, and I was just like, oh. But that happens. So you got to remember to save, you know, use quick save, use any save, back it up, save it into another file. Sometimes you'll realize you didn't save it all. You're just like, oh man, I was just going, not even thinking where this is gonna head out. But every now and then, whenever you lose work, sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes you go back and look at something that you did. And you're like, yeah, what was I doing? Why did I do it like that? You know, you'll do a little probably better the second time, or not. You're like, damn it, I should have saved. But I think this one. I gotta go back and revise what I do a little bit. We'll see. Pretty soon you'll see that little pop-up window. I don't remember what I did to make it pop up. If I try to clean it up or do I don't know. I think I Z-remeshed the model. And we'll see this playback. I'm kind of trying to refresh my mind. I think I tried to dynamesh it into one, and I put the settings really high, and the machine froze. So there we go. Yeah, I do. Here we go. Crank it. Boom. And wait. I'm like, oh, wait, save? No. That's why you gotta save your work. You'll see that little spinning thing, the blue spinning. And the thing is that I got out of it. It didn't work, but I did it again. This is where it happens. See, was that not a sign to save? And I didn't do it. I think it was like end of the day or something. So I just kind of just ready to model. And here I go. So let's see. This is where it locks up. Sometimes when this happens, you can push escape and it'll let it go. Every now and then, I don't think that's the case in this one. It actually it crashes. So I lose a little bit of work. So you'll see the little pop-up window. And here it comes. Ta-da! Crash. So I actually have to start over on a few parts. And you'll see. You're like, didn't you just do a tongue? Yeah. But I'm a lot faster this time. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's not. Like I said, sometimes you'll find a better way. Sometimes you don't. Yeah. And then you'll speed through it the second time. This happens in everything. And if you're in this industry, it happens. The worst time is during a deadline. You don't want stuff like this happening. But that's why we work on models, or I work on models in my spare time to keep that axe sharp. You know, keep me from doing mistakes like this whenever they count, because you know it's always good whenever you're trying to improve your skills. Stuff like this happens. It kind of helps out to where you're not so much, you know, making mistakes as often like that. Something so simple that I should have saved. And looks like I'm Z-remeshing this top to kind of get that part going. Cleaning up the model. Doing a little bit of cleanup work. Looks like I kind of revised some of the hamburger. Sorry though. For those watching, this isn't very complicated. It's a lot of simple shapes. So if you learn, keep it simple, and then progress from there. Sometimes that helps get you moving forward. Unless you just want to do some insane character, that's okay too. If you got that fire to keep going that way, do it. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. So I grabbed the tongue, reinitialized it, and turned it into a box. And we start the cheesy drips again. It's alright though. Like I said, this was mainly for fun, so it wasn't that big of a deal for me. I was just like, oh, well, you know, it sucks. It does suck, but, you know, it's not too bad. It's not the end of the world. We found a way around this. So, symmetry turned off. Going in there. Drippy drip. Just place it in there just right. Duplicate. Put it in there. Scale it up. And you can see from the reference, it's nothing complicated. It's just pushing and pulling. Simple models are always good for when learning like new software. For me, I guess an example for this model. Lately, I've been jumping into Gravity Sketch on the Oculus, and I have a few videos. I did like a Batmobile and stuff like that. For people who follow this channel, probably seen it. And yeah, to learn, you just gotta kind of just either find something you love to model or do, and go from there. I think it took a little bit extra drip to it. Just kind of pushed it a little bit more. There you go. See, I wouldn't have done that drip had it not crashed, so I probably would have followed the reference image a little bit more. So sometimes it's good. So this time when I do the Dynamesh, I know to save, and I'll hit the quick save at the top. I'm going to apply the subdivisions, drop it down and merge it together. You can see they're right there. So crank it a little lower. You saw it real quick? I saved, quick save. Oh, you don't forget that. You're like, oh, quick save. There we go. Smooth it out, clean it up. Cheesy cheese. That's what I like right there. Real fun, smooth model. I enjoyed working on this, even though it's nothing crazy. It's the little models like this that you're just like, man, that was kind of cool. I'll do another one. I'd like to make one. I don't know what I would do it of you know, my own kind of idea. Sometimes you get in like a creative rut. I feel like the past few months have been a little bit of a, not so much of a rut. It's just I don't know. Got to get that fire going again. You know what I mean? Getting there. Getting back in it. I love this little extender. It's always fun to do. I wish other programs had this. Just extend it out. Delete loops. Oh, I didn't do it. There was a reason for it. I can't remember why. But it works right here. And then I extend it again. Oh, I didn't extend it out. See, you know, sometimes you learn as you go. So right here, since it's following the normals, it wants to expand out. So you got to be smarter than the program, or trick it, I guess. Do a transpose select. Where you at? Transpose selection. Oh yeah, because it's the same thing. Boom. Reminds me of SpongeBob a little bit. Little Krabby Patty hat. But around SpongeBob. just pushing and pulling on the cylinder. Again, we're going back to a cylinder, and then the cylinder pretty much created this whole model except for the few cutouts, the eyes and the tongue. If you think about it, we're halfway done. It is something unique to ZBrush that other programs, just this whole method of almost a poly paint kind of thing. Other programs you can select, but it's just weird. It's a weird, different method. I went that route. Now I'm just gonna extract it. There you go. Boom, easy. Clean up those edges and then call it a day on the skull. It did cross my mind, like in Marmoset or Toolback 4, to give him like extra detailed fabrics and real hyper realistic. But then again, I was like, you know what? I kind of went back to the original concept style. But it would have been fun, like add like fabric to the hat and the little stitching and just hyper realistic, but also cartoony at the same time. See, just push and pull. It's just little things. It's not even crazy. It's not even that complicated. Just cleaning it up, relaxing it. There you go. We're not going to zoom into it, so it doesn't really need to be perfect. So the little seeds, another thing, extraction. The extraction, just you see little things here and there, just extract it out. I probably should have did the eyes with the same kind of thing, but it's what it is. So these are kind of smooth out, make them a little happier, a little rounder. Z-remesh that. Let's see. Let's see if I Z-remesh it. I don't. I actually just kind of smooth it out. Brute force right here, just smoothing it out, brushing it. So, oh no, there I go. Go back to the tools. I started to smooth it, but I was just like, you know what? No. Quick save. You saw that. I'm saving now. Lesson learned for that day. The shoes, these were probably the most detailed part of the model, but also pretty simple too at the same time. I didn't put every little detail inside of this, but at the same time, initialize right here. Get my cube, simple cube. I don't need all those shapes on the top. Here we go. Making a shoe. Bam. Putting little edge loops where I see them, and then I'm going to smooth it out, round it off. Oh, gotta grab all of them. Nope. I was hoping that the edge loop would have grabbed them all, but it didn't, so we do it the other way. Pushing and pulling, rounding it off, hardening edges here and there. So originally I did have this video where I was talking as I was doing it, but like I said, I hadn't been feeling good, and my throat was so dry I couldn't talk, and I was just like, you know what, I can't do this, so I just recorded it. Now you're getting a playback version faster than ever. So there you go, you got a little shoes. Oop. Push and pull. There you go. Put a little spin on it. edges and go from there. Do the extrude. There you go. Edge loops. Once you understand how they work, as far as subdivision modeling, you'll start breaking things down a little differently for anybody new to 3D. It's like puzzles. If you like puzzles, I guess it's almost a puzzle sometimes, in a way, to see what can be put on a model to kind of make it the way you need it to be. A good way to see this is doing furniture. Sometimes you need some of it soft, some of it edged, and furniture is a good way to kind of go back and forth between there. There you go. I had originally wanted to do the shoe a little bit more detailed, but looking at the model, it was actually real generic and simple, so I figured I'd keep it like the whole thing. Grabbing edges, pushing them back slightly, there we go, just the edges, there you go, almost. You did it. All right, boom. Rounding it off, and you got a shoe. There you go. So, a little bit of modeling, little bit of sculpting in here. Not too crazy. I think it pulls from both sides, so I didn't do the back face masking, so it goes both ways. I was like, oh, so I have to do that. You see it? I scaled it in the middle. There you go. You got a little shoe. Rotate it around and mirror it over. So you can see the model's almost done, besides textures. And I do the texturing in Marmoset, but that's going to be in a different video. I didn't put it in this one. This is more or less just to kind of show the process of making the cheesy burger. So, smoothing it out, giving it not so. There's a little edge right there that I keep seeing. And so since it had subdivisions, I kind of go up and down the subdivision list, smooth it. Oh, one. Oh, almost. Let's see if I do it. One. Almost. Display was cutting out or something. So let's see what we got. All I really need is just the one extract and then duplicate that. Halfway there. Yeah, it's good enough. Keep it, smooth it, call it a day. Boom, 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 boom. See, remesh it. There you go. Lower it, lower, lower, lower. Yep. Yep. There you go. Shoelaces. Nothing complicated. You can't tell from a distance anyway. Unless you're zooming in or something like that. And you ain't supposed to be zooming in. So. Oh, the masking. There you go. I'm so glad that you can move multiple things at once. Before in Zbrush it was a little bit harder to do. Earlier versions, So I could have Z remeshed it, but I didn't. I was just like, yeah, didn't matter. He's got shoes now. He's halfway done. The monster's almost complete. So if you look at him now, like, all right, put him in perspective. Do a little quick render. There you go, a little cheesy burger. I don't really think there's anything else missing except for UVs and adjusting them a little bit more. Let's see what I do here. Just little adjustments, right? Little fixes, and I messed it up. Undo. That's what that undo button's for. Can't always be messing the models up. No undo button. So let's get it centered, scale it. There you go. Pushing around the edge loops. I don't know if something got moved or what. I thought I looped it right there, but who knows? We fix it though. There you go, just angle it in there. That wasn't so bad. Needs an edge loop right there, I can see it. See if I catch it. I know I do because the rendering has it. So about right here is where I go ahead and decide to unwrap it and put it in the marmoset. I think this is where my decision came from. I was originally going to keep it in Zbrush, but I went ahead and went with this process of unwrapping each part. Then I sped this up even more because this is kind of a boring part, but to use it in Toolbag, you have to unwrap everything, and this is just using the unwrap tool and making a clone, unwrapping it, polygroups or whatever, flatten it to look at it, and copy it, and then paste it. Rinse and repeat. You do this about 5 times, you got it down. It's not hard. As you can see. So there's not really much else to this video except me just going through each piece and unwrapping each one. The next video I'm going to show you pulling it into Toolbag and then going from there and adding color and whatever. It's really not too crazy. It's just trying to get the final image. It was just video kind of dragged on with all these videos, so I just kind of sped them up. So hopefully it's informative. Hopefully, and you know, maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. I don't know. It's very generic models, nothing complicated, nothing crazy. I kept it simple and went from there. So appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a good day.